Alright guys, TouchRabbit here today, and I'm back from the weekend away, hopefully with some useful and insightful content for you guys ahead of the second week of cross-divisional play. I'll go through the schedule of that later in the video. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that of course I missed being away over the weekend. The Rampart has been nerfed, the Saug has been buffed. Of course, the last couple of weeks we've been talking in quite some depth about the potential of the gentleman's agreement on the Rampart, and it does very much seem like that gentleman's agreement has now been cancelled per se in wake of this recent nerf. So we'll go through that today and I'll load more stuff along the way. Like if you guys enjoy it, subscribe if you are new as always. Hope you enjoyed the continued content. Managed to keep the daily uploads up over the weekend, trying to breach the 100 mark, and then we'll have to see from there because exams are very much around the corner. So as I said, all the drama the last couple of weeks has been about LG using the Rampart. Of course, they won CWL Fort Worth event with Classic using the Rampart being much better than he has typically been with the Maddox in hand. They really introduced this meta of having one Rampart player on your team to lay down some covering fire at range and soften up opponents for you to finish off. When Aches pulled it out in only one map, it was a crazy performance from him. He had like 7.5k damage or something like that when they played against Luminosity in the league. So of course, the Rampart's a very strong weapon. It has here received a nerf. Now, it's very interesting as to whether this nerf was as a result of the pros complaining about the strength of the weapon, or whether it was due to its strength in public matches. It could well be a mix of both, but at the same time we've got to consider that, well, this is only just a few days after this kind of controversy has been sprouting, and of course players have pulled it out in the league when they're playing against Luminosity, and Luminosity have gone game 5 I think in every one of their series, all 4 series they played in the first week of cross-divisional play, so it's hardly like they were looking infallible in the face of, you know, the opponents that were also using the Rampart. So it's an interesting change to the meta. Personally, I like it. Having 4 weapons in play I believe is more interesting than watching 3. I don't think it's particularly strong. I don't think it, well, it's very strong, but I don't think it's so strong that it's completely shifting up the meta, for example. And anyway, they've decided to nerf it. Whether this will change the meta is up for question. I still think the Rampart likely will see some use here, given what we've discovered about it recently, but maybe the reduction of flinch as a result of the reduction in damage per shot here from 46 to 40 may be a deciding factor. We will have to see in this week of cross-divisional play whether any teams will decide to use it, considering, according to Parasite, I can't share the clip because he had music in the background on stream, but yeah, he said that the gentleman's agreement has been lifted. So whether we'll see teams pull it out this week, we will have to see. It's going to be a very interesting one. So the damage reduction has gone from 46 to 40. Now the secondary damage is still 37, I believe. Let's have a look through some stats here. So I'm going to credit these to Exclusive Ace. I'm pretty sure this is his kind of graphic style. So yeah, if you guys aren't aware of Exclusive Ace, I'm sure you are, then he's probably put these together. I'll leave his channel link in the description box below here. So effectively, these are the time to kills for the Saug, the Maddox, and the Rampart. A lot of people are suggesting the Rampart kills so much quicker. You can see that the Saug's up close time to kill, 330 milliseconds. We go on to the Maddox right here. We have a 332 milliseconds. And then, of course, the Rampart, 348 milliseconds. So, because the rate of fire is so much lower, its time to kill isn't actually that strong compared to the other weapons. But, of course, this does extend out to a significant range. And also, when you are set up aiming down sights, it does deal an awful lot of damage and really can make an ICR player on a head glitch flinch a fair bit with the 46 damage per shot, because flinch is tied directly to the amount of damage dealt. So, it seems like they've reduced this figure from 46 down to 40. Now, this doesn't make a difference in the shots to kill, because typically 46 to 37, 46 is a 4-shot kill, but if you hit them with 3 shots, you leave them on just 12 points of health. Now, you hit them with just 3 shots, you leave them on 30 points of health. So this is a relatively big difference in terms of now, the Saug won't be able to one-shot someone from any range if they have been tagged 3 times with the Rampart, and also less flinch will be given to those players. I don't think this necessarily makes the Rampart inviable, if that's even a word. One thing to look at here is they've also reduced the ADS in speed. Now, I'm going to brush over the high caliber stuff. The high caliber 1 and 2 are incredibly strong in public matches. The fact that it can get a 3-shot kill to the upper chest with high caliber 2 is frankly ridiculous. They've nerfed that to some degree, and maybe alongside that they also thought, yeah, you know what, the Rampart's a little bit too strong. Maybe just looking at public matches, but it's definitely possible. They've seen the drama in the competitive scene. And Killer was making a point like, oh, it only takes the pros to GA something, and now apparently nowadays it gets nerfed rather than potential action being taken by MLG and the like for this supposed collusion, which we've talked about in previous videos. So yeah, slightly reduced ADS in speed. Not sure how exactly relevant this is. Of course, it is a nerf to some degree, but a lot of the times the Rampart's already pretty slow ADSing in, so you have to set up shop much more than you could with other weapons. And you know, you can't fly around with a Rampart in the old version, neither can you with the new one. So I wonder how it will change the meta exactly. We do also have this slightly increased 6-shot range for the Saug, which is definitely a buff. Of course, SMG players have kind of been saying that the Saug isn't actually, particularly strong, of course, in the current meta. We're seeing on a lot of maps, 1 ICL, 1 Rampart, 2 Maddoxes and a Saug or something like that. 1 or 2 Saugs is the way it's going right now. The Rampart and the Maddox is still the dominant weapon within the meta. So, yeah, it's kind of cool to see a buff to the Saug to some degree at least. We'll see how that will switch up the meta on some maps. Probably won't change it too much, but, we'll have to see if teams actually do decide to adopt the Rampart into their setup, because I'm kind of excited to see that possibility. So another thing to brush over, Easy Mac pointed this out. Of course, you guys know who he is if you've been watching any of my recaps at all here. So these are the most popular Twitch categories by effectively game played in peak viewers throughout the 2018 year. So Call of Duty sitting here at 610,000 viewers, which of course is a hell of a lot, but I'm pretty sure this was as a result of the Blackout drop. I think when Shroud and even Ninja was streaming Black Ops 4, there was crazy amount of viewers flying around. If this was just for Call of Duty Open events or COD champs, it would be a lot lower than it is right here, but I thought you guys would find it interesting looking through all of these figures. Of course, I'm not sure, well, this is Twitch. It doesn't include Chinese viewers. They, of course, have their own streaming service because China, well, don't want to go into that today. It's not a political channel. So let's move on here into the schedule for this week and let's have a look at some predictions that go alongside it. So these are the current standings. What is rather remarkable is that Red Reserve, Luminosity, UYU and Evil Geniuses were the Division A teams playing. Of course, a lot of those teams are not in the best state right now, specifically Red Reserve and Evil Geniuses, which we talked about a couple of days ago. But none of these teams have even managed to eclipse the top 3, even with the opportunity of playing several more games. They've had 4 more games played than any of these guys. We look at the other side, Heretics and E-United have taken the top spot over 100 Thieves. Of course, we have Envy sitting at 5th place, still at 6 and 5. Definitely a questionable team right there, whether they will consider a change come April the 5th. And of course, Accelerate still managing to sit in last place here, as this is organised off series win percentage. So I guess it's not overly surprising that these teams haven't moved too far up the ranks. So the other teams will be in action this week. It's a very interesting set of schedule events. Let's have a look at them. So first up, coming tonight, I will leave the link to the Twitch channel and also the time where things are starting, because the time on the right here is wrong because I'm recording this the night before on the Sunday evening. So the first matchup, Denial versus Genji. Of course, you've got to favour Genji right now in this one. Of course, with more time to practice with Envoy, you would expect them to continue improving. So yeah, Genji over Denial should be a relatively obvious pick, but you don't know how good Denial are going to be. Of course, they probably have been back in France. I'm not sure whether they're boot camping in the States. If you guys let me know if you guys are aware at all, that'd be interesting to know. But my guess is they've probably gone back to France, so probably not had the best of practice in Europe over the last couple of weeks would be my assumption, but maybe they can get something going towards the latter half of the week. Midnight versus Splice, of course, a very interesting game 5 they had at Fort Worth. Definitely going to favour Splice in that one, but Midnight still have the potential there on their day. E6 versus Optic, probably got to favour Optic in that one. Wreck 100 Thieves is going to be super exciting, a rematch of the game that we missed the opportunity to have at Fort Worth, given that Priester was ill and they had to sub Pharaoh into the team instead. So Reciprocity, I'm expecting a game 5 on this one. I feel like 100 Thieves might just take it. I feel like I've got a slight favouritism for them in this series, but 55-45, something like that, is a difficult one to call by any means. Optic versus Denial should be relatively, it's difficult to pick Denial in a lot of these series, even though you're pretty confident they're going to cause an upset in one of them. And that Midnight game later on, probably Denial, I would say, are the favourites, but of course it depends how they perform earlier on in the week here. Reciprocity versus Enigma Siege, another interesting rematch from the winners round 1 at CWL Fort Worth, where E6 3-0'd Reciprocity. So we'll have to see if their luck against European teams continues here. Maybe it's not luck, maybe it's just pure skill, but I would, hazard to guess that Reciprocity were underperforming to some degree on that day. 100 Thieves Midnight should be comfortable for 100 Thieves. Splice Genji is very exciting indeed. Splice is a team where I think they're just superb in like a championship setting, but in the league I think they're always going to suffer slightly, so I'm probably going to favour Genji very slightly here. E6 Midnight, E6 I'm going to take on that one. I'm expecting at some point Kismet to come back to very strong form indeed, and Frosty has been very good. General's been looking better as well. Chino was, very, very good for them at Fort Worth overall in terms of what he brought to the team. Seemed to improve significantly. Of course, they did come top 6 at that event, but, a little bit questionable in terms of they managed to beat a Reciprocity, which was out of nowhere. And then they got kind of destroyed in the last couple of maps of the tournament when they played Luminosity and just got blown off the face of the earth. So we'll have to see how that team responds this week. week. Denial versus Reciprocity, an interesting another European battle. Of course, right now, you would suggest Reciprocity, Heretics, and, Red Reserve are the top 3 in Europe. We'll have to see if Denial can, I guess they're in the top 4 right now, but whether, well, obviously they're in the top 4, I guess you could say, considering they are in the league, but whether they can start competing with some of these teams is a very exciting prospect. Genji versus 100 Thieves is another incredibly exciting matchup here. I don't know who to favour on current time. If you look at the CWL Fort Worth performance, I guess you would say 100 Thieves, but Genji could easily take it. Of course, it is a best of 5 series on a LAN league, which doesn't have a crazy amount of importance, at least in its individual standpoint. Down the line, of course, these series may matter very much so indeed, but of course, it's not like it's got crazy pressure on it like a match has at a championship event. Optic versus Spice, again, very interesting. Tough to call how, depending on how the teams are looking coming in. These organisations always have crazy exciting matches. I'm going to expect a game 5. Don't really know which way to call it at the current time. Genji E6 should go Genji's way, even though E6 outplaced them at CWL Fort Worth, just because I think Genji are a better team. And if they get their Search and Destroy to even if they can get to a 65-70% win rate in Search and Destroy, obviously it's very impressive indeed if you can achieve that, but they were at 100% in the league with Spacely on the squad. So if they can continue to get it pretty much up there, then they have a fantastic chance of continuing to top their division, as we've seen earlier on in the video. Midnight Denial, probably going to favour Denial in this one, to be honest. I feel like Midnight are a team in shambles, really, at the current time. I really don't know what to think about them. Denial have a lot of talented players, indeed. Zeke, Risk especially has been someone that people have been pointing at. Of course, Whalers, a legendary name on that squad. So I think Denial should be favourites in this one. Spice Reciprocity, again. The reverse sweep was completed by Spice to make it into the grand finals from the losers finals at the CWL Fort Worth event. Whether Reciprocity can get their revenge is exciting. I'm predicting another game 5 if Reciprocity can keep up their form. Of course, they've got Dylan CoD in their team. We have yet to see him in the league by any means here, even though we have seen him, of course, at CWL Fort Worth. So if he can keep up the form he was playing at Fort Worth, then Reciprocity have a great chance of actually taking it this time. And of course, we close out with 100 Thieves versus Optic Game, and this is going to be crazy exciting. Don't really know who to favourite. Of course, it depends on how the week exactly went. So many Game 5 potentials here, and I think we're going to see another one here. Maybe I'm going to lean the way of 100 Thieves just off the placing at CWL Fort Worth, but it's tough to call aside from that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. And before you go, actually, I just thought about this. I'm not going to mention it until the start of next video, but I thought for you, those of you who are sticking around, if you want to join my Discord, at the end of these videos, you may have noticed I add a clip quite often to the end of them from my own gameplay or whatever, but unfortunately I don't have an infinite supply of those, and I usually don't bother as a result with the videos that are longer than a reasonable length of time. YouTube likes the videos to be kind of long, so I tend to put a clip at the end of the shorter ones, so, I don't do it for everyone, so I don't run out of clips effectively. And also it's a lot of effort for me to clip them all down and get them on my USB and put them on the computer in the first place. It takes me a lot of time having recorded all of them. So what I've decided to do, thanks to a suggestion, I think it was from Saint Nerd in my Discord, which effectively gave me this idea, is that if you guys want to join my Discord and submit any of your clips, it can be like a funny clip or something like that, as long as something you say in the clip isn't overly outrageous, then more than likely it will end up featuring at the end of one of my videos. So effectively, you have a clip from a Game Battles match, from a League Play match, maybe you got a triple headshot in public matches in like Black Ops 2, I don't know, a cool clip like that. I don't really care if it's in Black Ops 4 or not. I guess I will give those clips preference. I'll probably give preference to some degree with clips with audio on, but not necessarily. So if you guys want to, and by audio I mean like, talking to teammates or something like that, always kind of find they're a little bit more entertaining, but it depends. If the clip is super crazy, then it definitely has a great chance of being featured. More than likely, if you put one in there, it will probably get featured at the end of the next video, as long as there's not a crazy queue. So if you want to join my Discord, in the link in the description box below, and then you can leave your clips in the clip submissions channel, and then more than likely I'll download them from YouTube. It would really be handy if you uploaded them through YouTube. Makes it a lot easier on my behalf. Like, just upload the video to YouTube as unlisted and then link it down in the, the clip submissions channel, and then I can download it from there. Much easier way of me to do it than doing it through Twitter or some other third-party sites, if that's at all possible for you guys. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time.
Fuck are they? What the hell have they done?
You saw one?
Oh my god!
Let's go!
Shit,
see
on
that
so
first guy?
hard. Yeah, and I caught something of a glimpse of it. It was weird. I wasn't sure. Like I felt like I'd seen something. Second guy got shit on. Oh my god. Please.
Keep all the pressure. Break them down.
Oh, plane tickets are still mad cheap around Brexit time. I'm shocked. I thought that'd be expensive for that weekend. I thought that'd have fucking hiked them up. Oh, that was a sharding.
That's a pure shot, like Shard City personified.
That was a sharding.
I think we go mid again. I think they're gonna go mid. I might pull an ICR out. I think like, actually no, I got no time.
Eliminate the objective. Bomb acquired.
See what I did before. Seemed to work. The controls important. One top right. Really weak, dead. Last guy's gonna be doing something weird. Do you want to back up? Do you want to spawn? No, come back. I don't wanna. Yeah, push, flanking through A. He's weak. He went. I'm getting a plant B. Push.
Okay.
Go there top, and I'll just plant.
I'll just go top now.
Yeah. Jesus, can you stretch that? Probably not.
The bomb has been planted.
Okay, at least you can check it. I'm just gonna sit in this corner bottom, and check it. You check it from time to time.
Yeah.
That's a shit corner here.
Yeah, I have bomb. So good.
Okay, I'm kind of holding below you. Let's check it.
Oh, he's stretching it. Oh, I'm running. Let's go, baby. That's a good win.
That is a very good win.
It's very.
They were 5-in-1
like.
with premium.
Like, I was checking flights during that. That was so fucking casual.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Way too easy.